hello. How much you be doing? We have Boo saying hello. Well, hello to you too. Uh, we got Super Ghost UK saying bonjour to you too. I hope you are doing well. And we have a third viewer who is Peter Knottle. Good day, all. A good day. Okay. So, as per usual, I have my this this here is as Bowie, Superghost UK, and Peter. No, this is Stefan, and of course here we have Bertil. Okay, okay, and then hey Google.
Hang on while I get connected to Wi-Fi.
Whatever. Hey Google.
Hang on while I get connected to Wi-Fi.
Oh, screw you. Not that it, just when I wanted to work, but excuse me, just a moment. There's something. Hey Google. May the force be with you.
I feel more like a droid than a Jedi.
So I got this earlier this spring. Oh, sorry, last year. But it's got multiple colors. It's got blue, purple, green, and orangish yellow. So this doesn't really. Oh, just a moment. So it's like this. So that's my lightsaber. So so too many. Sorry, I got my Okay, so the force wasn't with the cables under my desk. The force was only with me. Yes, Darth Vader. Actually, I do have a Sith cloak, with a big hood and an actual Sith cloak. But as of right now, I have no idea where it is. But I do have one. I bought it like years ago. Years ago when I was young and crazy. I'm still young and crazy, but younger and crazier. Okay. So that was okay, let's put it there. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Random Friday with me, Heidi, and my lovely co-hosts, Stefan and Bertil. So, Superghost says, you are no filthy Jedi then, LOL JK. Okay, I am no Jedi. Hey Google, I am your father.
You are my father. I always thought R2D2 would make more sense.
There you go. This stream, no, alcohol, it's just Coke Zero from a Moomin cup. or mug, whatever you call this. Okay. At this point, a very, very big shout out to my patron, Flems. Flems has been my patron for a while now, for I think 4 months now. So I might as well just okay. First, I will show you my Patreon. Okay. Okay. I should change that. I don't know. Hey, but I've got a special offer for until January 23rd. So it's still up until next week Sunday. Uh, so it's starting from €3 a month, or equivalent in US USD, Canadian dollars, Norwegian and Swedish krona, the UK pound, I think, also. So €3 or equivalent in those currencies, and you'll get a special offer for the two highest tiers on Patreon. On Patreon, you'll get a personalized. I will film each and every one of you a personalized thank you video for these two top tiers, and you'll But hey, go check it out. It's patreon.com/Heidi's Corner. Okay, just a teeny tiny moment. Okay, I just didn't want you to see me pick my nose. So okay. So what is? So let's go first here. Okay. So what are gender roles? Gender roles are roles imposed on us, banged into our heads from cradle to coffin. Uh, they are taught to us by our parents, our kindergarten teachers, and the entire education system since daycare, and that is there is some evidence there is a biological base that there is some biological components in this. Now I lost most of my viewers saying, it's just backed into us. I had 5 viewers, now I have 2. 3 went away when I started saying it's a social construct. When I was saying it's a social construct banked into our heads, and it's not biologically innate from birth. Ah, there was back. Okay. So there is a biological aspect to it, but it's social. It's even evolution. There's a position that held by evolutionary psychology that there's what's called social constructionism, that gender behavior is mostly due to social conventions, but for example, evolutionary psychology sometimes tends to disagree, but um, children learn, children are taught what is feminine, what, where, let me ask you a question, my dear viewers. There are four. I would assume Bowie, Superghost UK, and Peter Nuttall, and a fourth viewer. Just forget everything I said. Forget everything that I've said about gender on my channel. Forget everything that I've said before, and start from a clean plate, and riddle me this: where do the gender-specific behaviors we see in our society, in Western culture, in Middle Eastern, Asians, African, Australo-Polynesians, etc. The way, where do we learn how men and women are supposed to dress? Where do we learn what kind of how men and women are supposed to behave? Where do we learn what type of a job is manly and what is feminine? Where do we learn? Where and when do we learn all this? Answer me this one, please, before I go on. Where do we learn all this, and when? And why? Where, when, and why? Okay, leave out the why, but where and when? Just, out of curiosity before I go on. Forgetting everything I've ever said about gender and biological sex. Yeah, and while you type, there are a number of sociologists who and psychologists who have been studying this, writing about this, such as Judith Butler, who is a proponent of the social constructivism. Yeah, oh, Jens is there. Okay, wonderful. It's Jens says it starts from early childhood with gender-specific toys. But Jens, tell me, who says those toys are boys' toys or girls' toys? Who says that? Is it you? Or do you have an innate sense of which toys are boys' toys and girls' toys? Do you know it from birth, or do your parents, siblings, other family members, kindergarten teachers, school teachers, who tells you these things? Is it you, or is it someone else? Peter says school was when it was forced on me. Super Ghost says gender roles in a nutshell is a masculine roles are leading and labor, while feminine roles are supposed to be carers and motherly roles, precisely. But yes, I would probably answer the question for you. Those uh, those that which toys boys play with and which toys girls are supposed to play with. They are taught to you. It's those are taught to you by your parents, siblings, grandparents, daycare, school. The society tells boys that you can't play with dolls. And if girls, yes, Supergirl says media, school, family, friends taught some of that. Yes, it's all of that. a 2 year old, a 1 year old doesn't doesn't yes, yes, children play with any toys they get their hands on, but who provides you with those toys? Your parents. Your parents have decided which toys you should play with. If you're a boy, if you're assigned male at birth, your parents will not give you, typically your parents will not give you dolls. They will give you trucks, etc. Trucks and cars and motorcycles and such. That's what you get from your parents at the age of one. Uh, and if you're assigned female at birth, you get dolls and whatnot, dolls and dresses and such from your parents, and your like grandparents and such. It's your parents that parents and family members who provide you with those toys. Peter says, I played with dolls and guns both. That is wonderful. I applaud your parents that they provided little Peter with both. But it's your family who decides what toys are provided to you. So there is, and how you're supposed to behave, not maybe not so much how you play with those toys, but how you're supposed to dress. Boys cannot are boys are not allowed to or even provided with uh, dresses and girly clothing. They typically Boys are not encouraged to grow their hair out or wear their hair long or wear makeup, girls are girls are encouraged to do such things from a very early age. So there's an awful lot like uh, theorists or writers. Um, for example, a, a guy named Talcott Parsons. Uh, in 1955, he developed a model of nuclear family, which at a place and time was the prevalent family structure and still is in many places. Peter says, I have photos of me in dresses. Yes. And there have been changing norms of socializing the gender. For example, a practice called breaching which was the occasion when small boys were first dressed in breeches or trousers, uh, which started in mid 16th century, especially running in the royal families and aristocracy in Europe, up until early 20th century. Actually, uh, young boys were unbreeched and wore gowns and dresses, etc., etc. So if you there's for example childhood picture, because not many. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about this because it's gonna be so far off. But for example, um, Louis, I think I have it in my notes, but it's Fif- Louis 15th, the King of France. For example, there are paintings of him wearing a very girly velvet dress and a sort of a girly wig. On pictures of that or on the interwebs. And this kind of dressing of a boy or of a child assigned male at birth would be uh, heavily frowned upon, these days. So there are then there's a Dutch researcher. So Talcott Parsons from model, he had a like a model A, which is total separation of male and female roles, and then he had a model B, which which was kind of complete dissolution of gender roles. And the model A here was he made a distinction between models A and B on education, profession, housework, decision making, childcare and education. So these were like polar opposites. Like model A was more like total role segregation. It's the nuclear family model, especially cherished in the United States of America, still to this day. And then it's not model B is dissolution of gender roles are isn't a total dissolution. It's not anarchy. It's not gender. It's not gender anarchy. It's equal. Is model B is actually integration of these roles that both can do everything. Girls can go to school. Women can work outside of home, etc. Pizza says he has a photos of me in dresses. That's wonderful. And also, it has always annoyed me that girls could wear boy clothes, but boys couldn't wear girl clothes. That is absolutely that is it's still baffling, you know. And it's also what's also interesting is that in case of an emergency. Uh, by the way, Boo earlier said, "Am I weird? Gender never mattered to me." No, you are not weird. No, you're in no way weird. I mean, why would it be? And also, Boo says humanity should completely discard the concept of gender entirely. Precise. Yes. Yes. That's one good idea, I think. Uh, anyway, there's a Dutch researcher um, was unfortunately he's passed away. Uh, Gert Hofstede also is it Gert comes from Gerard Hendrik Hofstede. He's a social psychologist. Um, he in his view, in most human cultures, uh, you can be classified as either masculine or feminine in most human cultures, but there are also these plenty of societies where these gender roles are not clear cut. Those are that recognize three or more uh, uh, genders, and these minority genders are are also assigned different uh, social norm like roles, what they are, what their role in this particular culture is. uh, in the past, because who who would have thought, psychology, hundreds of years and thousands of years ago. uh, Gender and gender roles were attributed to biology. um, it's not it's not biological in the way they think it is. It's brain chemistry. That it's biological in the sense of of brain chemistry, but that it that human behaves in a certain way, and human behavior can be modified, especially in childhood, into um, a certain directions, to male or female. Um, with it, and it's of course hormones. There is a, but biology has an effect on it, like the sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone, for example. There are other sex hormones than just the basic ones we're taught in school. Okay. In the chat, Jens says a person has more important features than gender, and Peter agrees. Bowie goes to say it's really sad how important gender seems to be when, in truth, it's a meaningless concept. It's literally just a word that has no meaning. Yes, I am of the school that gender is a social construct. Gender is forced upon us without anyone ever even questioning. Uh, Certain types of behavioral ways are imposed on us, um, because um, we are born with a type of certain type of genitals. And what is very fitting, in my opinion, say, okay, oops, no, oops, where do I have it? Here, okay. So one good example of a social construct of gender, uh, actually quite sad, because as a society, we tend to think that there are only, in Western cultures and Middle in many Middle Eastern and African cultures as well, we think as strict division, strict binary, and there is nothing else, nothing in between, nothing outside of it. So one sad example is the mutilation of intersex children. The mutilation of intersex children happens. Oops, what? Oops, what was that? Oops, is it? Uh, can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is that for fuck's sake. You can hear me. Wonderful. I just dropped. Uh, there was a cut, apparent cut in in the stream due to unknown reasons. Okay, but hey, here we are back. Okay, that really got me spooked. Really got me spooked. Okay, well, where was I? Let's go. Yes, I just had to get my shit together. Um, yes. So, yes, the intersex children. Yes. So one good example of the society imposing the gender binary, the forced gender roles on children are intersex children who are born. Those intersex children who are born with unambiguous genitalia. Their genitals do not fit the binary. Uh, when a child's genitals do not fit the binary, what is the typical course of action? At least up until the modern times, the increasing fashion is that those nothing is done. But up until now, up until the 2021, into the 2020s, intersex children's genitals are still mutilated to fit the gender binary. If that isn't enforcing gender binaries, gender roles by the society, what is? Hmm? Yeah, if that is that one clear and very sad example of the gender binary being enforced, the social construct of gender binary on newborn babies, and that's harsh. If that is not a social construct, if in those cases, and if the gender is binary, then it's always binary. If it can't be only the poor intersex children where the gender is binary, that they are forced into a binary. Uh, that's about rant for now. Peter says, just because I'm male doesn't mean I don't have a female side. That is one good point. Bowie says we all have a female side, but it's not the time we made both sides dominant. Yeah. Jens goes on to say we all have both sides, but some deny the fact. Denial is bliss. In most cases, denial is bliss. Okay, there is both light and dark inside them. But what really matters is which we choose to act upon. Okay, let's go. What the fuck do I have? Transform. Stretch the screen. No, okay, whatever. No. This is just all wrong. This is all just wrong. Uh, Okay, sorry. I'm stupid. Then let's switch. Okay, there's a there's a there's an interesting article here on Planned Parenthood that I found. It's really weird. Okay, and there was another. Just a moment. Okay, Jens says accepting all the facets of one's own personality can be difficult. Some need a safe outlet. Yes. Anyway, Planned Parenthood is an American-based sexual health organization, which is here described here. Delivers vital reproductive health, healthcare, sex ed, and information to millions of people worldwide. They're registered non-profits, and donations are, by the way, just there's a way to help if you wish. But there's an interesting. I might as well just. I'll get you these links in the description. I could have done this just before all this, but because I'm too lazy, I didn't. It's linked now in the description box below. That's the stream description has now been updated. There are links. Okay. Okay. And there is also a link to Science Direct, and it's from Handbook of Child and Adolescent Sexuality of 2013, and it's from Art Tong, Gender Roles in Encyclopedia of Applied Ethics, second edition, and there's also there are also all kinds of links. So Body Image Development Adult Men from H.J. Falker, Encyclopedia of Body Image and Human Appearance 2012. So I suggest you go and check these out because there are so much interesting text. Okay, these are from Science Direct, everything that has the tag of gender roles, and then there's the article from Planned Parenthood. So that's. By the way, so what's up with these? I think gender roles are bullshit. because gender is a social construct. It is, the more I read into it, the more it becomes clear to me that gender is in fact a social construct. It cannot be anything else than a social construct, which is quite sad because so many people get the false sense of safety because they being realizing that that the gender roles have nothing to do with what you're born with. A human, like, you are not born religious. You are born into a religious or an atheist, or not so much, or an atheist or a gray area family, and that whether if you're born the fact that if you're born into a religious family, you will become religious. Most likely, you will be a religious when you as an adult. If you are born into a skeptic, atheist, um, or agnostic family, you will be such. You will most likely be such as an adult, but you are taught the way of thinking. But if you are not born religious, if you're born into a religious family, you will become. And if you're not a religious, but if you are not taught religion at home, you will most likely not become an adult that way. That is the same way. If an assigned a baby assigned male at birth is raised as a girl, that will uh, bring up a different result than uh, if you raise said assigned male at birth child um, in an ultra masculine and stiff ultra masculine way, that will cause a different ending. I do not suggest, I do not recommend you go into experimenting with your children, but that's just how it goes. Yeah, if you teach your dog, like, if you teach your dog to bite to bite people and attack people or other dogs, your dog will beat, bite and attack other people. If you teach your children to beat and bite other kids, they will do that, and they will end up in jail as an adult. Um, Peter says, as far as why children as far as children was concerned, I was allowed I allowed them to be who they wanted to be, no barriers imposed. And Bowie says gender is the same as being binary. There is nothing behind it. Both behind it, the binary spectrum and gender are just meaningless constructs. Yes, they are constructs. They are human. They are human-made things because humans need to classify, make, create constructs so they can understand things. Um, we need to classify things, put things into boxes so that we can make sense of the world. We group, we look patterns. We look patterns. Humans love and seek patterns, and when we put similar patterns in the same box. So if you have when a child is born, the child has a penis, put into that box. The child has a vagina, put it into that box. That it's easy enough, and that's what um, humans and other apes did in the dawn of time. They said, okay, this has a penis, that box. This has a vagina, that box. That's easy enough. It's for a stupid primate, for a monkey in the dawn of time. It's easy because they don't have the mental capacity to go any further. But now we have the mental capacity to go further. But do we have the willingness to go further than penis one box, vagina the other box? Um, Jens says the ones who don't fit into those boxes are the interesting ones. Bowie says if it were up to me, I would mix the boxes up or have no boxes. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, hey, how do we have trans people? Yeah. Do we have non-binary people? Yes. Who fit in neither of those typical penis and vagina boxes I just mentioned. Uh, so penis box, and vagina box for those who have a vagina, and those boxes are then brought up a very different way. Non-binary people don't fit in either of these penis or vagina boxes. Intersex, even less. So gender roles are pretty much useless. And I was reading an article about gender roles in uh, queer households. Uh, I mean, typically the what you get in a typical household is a woman cooking, cleaning, doing her groceries, etc., and the husband then or other male spouse um, or partner goes to work outside of home, which the woman doesn't, etc., etc., etc. But what about but if you mi- how but then you mix these up in some ways. Um, when you have lesbian and gay couples living together, the system is broken. I hardly doubt that. I don't think the system goes gaboom if lesbians or non-binary people live together, couples live together. Uh, for example, uh, me and my partner, both women, we both go. We both work outside of home, except my partner now has to work from home. But typically, in normal circumstances, she would go to the office. In normal circumstances, she would go to the office, and I obviously I'm a nurse, so I have to go to the unit where I work uh, when I have a shift. We both work outside of home. We both to go do groceries. Typically, we go do that together. To do that together, I did that. I did it today. She does it sometimes. I did that alone today. She does that alone sometimes. Uh, and yeah, etc. etc. And it happens with gay couples too. I mean, I lived in a shared flat some time ago, a couple of years ago actually now. That I with a gay couple, two guys. both cooked, both when the groceries, both cleaned, both had feminine sides, both were very masculine. In that household, the gender roles broke down, didn't exist. So it it worked. It works for some, but for some, not so much. Um, so are they? I don't think they are completely useless. I think they may or may not serve a purpose. But in some instances, perhaps I don't know. I don't know. Um, they may serve a purpose to some people, but as to what kind of purpose and how useful these gender roles are to these uh, individuals or individuals, couples, these communities. Uh, could be they might find it useful. I don't know, but I don't. I think that at least the traditional gender roles, traditional gender roles are broken and have been so for a very long time, and there and it should be apparent to everyone that they do not serve their purpose, at least in the way they used to uh, long ago. That's my 2 cents on this. This has been going on for 55 plus 57 minutes now. The recording is so that's my humble 2 cents on this subject. Uh, so we have at least Peter, Jens, Bowie, and probably Super Ghost UK as well in the chat. Do we have any further ideas on or thoughts, questions, etc., etc. On the topic? It would be nice to hear if you have any we said Jens goes on to say traditional gender roles were useful in tribal times. They're extremely outdated today. Precisely. That's I I agree. I completely agree. Bowie says, sorry to go off the subject, but did you know that there is an adamant adamantium asteroid passing by Earth soon? Well, I do now. I do now. I did not know before now, but I do now. I do now. I do now know that there is an adamantium asteroid passing by Earth soon. When is this asteroid passing Earth? Is it like soon, as in next year, or or are we talking about like soon in astronomical timescales, as in hundreds of years from now, soon, thousands of years, hundreds of years, or thousands of years soon, sometime this coming week. This coming week. Okay, wonderful. Because in when we are talking about the universe, the time the time scales tend to be quite quite large or long. So we when we're talking hundreds of light years, uh, hundreds of millions of light years, or even billions of light years. Uh, so the distances are huge, and therefore the time scale is huge. The universe is something like 13.8 billion years old. We've been around. Uh, YouTube has been around for like 17 years, 16 or 17 years, 16 or 17 years YouTube, and then we have the universe, and the Earth is 4 billion or so years old. So that's quite a difference. NASA is working on a way to deflect asteroids. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. There was some articles about that a few years ago. Anyway, it's been an interesting live show, and I've had so many comments. I mean, I can't remember if I've ever had this many comments in my chat room, or like in my side chat. It's just weird, super weird. I mean, it's been a really busy, really busy. Oh, this it's been this topic has made you talk. This has made you talkative, which is wonderful. Um, okay. Anywho, I think it's my time to go for today. But Boo is I like being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. I truly appreciate when anyone likes to be likes to be here on my side chats. Yes. So check. Peter says, "Great topic brings more discussions." That is correct. Anyway, so about there is a Monday episode coming uh, in a few days. There's 3 nights. 3 nights away is a Monday show. And I will see you on Monday. But before that, smash the like button, or you can be down as well. I don't care, but preferably up. And then subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, tickle the notification bell. Subscribe and tickle and rub the notification bell. The notification bell is the only thing you're allowed to grope. Nothing else. Only the notification bell. At least my channel's notification bell can be groped, so that it gives you the notifications to my videos like this. Also, check the links down in the description box. I linked the Planned Parenthood and then the scientific articles in the description. There's Discord servers, playlists, my PayPal for one-time donations, and then for monthly donations on Discord, starting from €3 or equivalent in your own currency per month. And of course, without going anywhere, these are my co-hosts, Stefan and Basti. And that is how this comes to a close. And I will see you. Hopefully, all of you, all 7 viewers, I hope to see you on Monday for another episode of Culture Corner on my channel, Hades Corner. I'll see you then.